We are continuing to monitor the latest COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths across the Tri-Cities region. Today, Ballad Health reported 204 COVID-19 patients in their hospitals. That's 4 more than the last report Friday. 57 of those patients are being treated in intensive care units, with 49 of those patients on ventilators. And at the Niswonger Children's Hospital, they have 3 pediatric COVID-19 patients. Ballad says they've had 69 patients die from COVID-19 complications over the past 7 days. We're joined by Ballad Health Chief Clinical Officer Dr. Amit Vashisht today. Dr. Vashisht, thanks for your time as always. We appreciate it. We'd love to get your take on the new numbers, which appear to show a reducing population, but unfortunately, it seems a larger proportionate number of deaths. Am I reading that right, and your reaction to the numbers today?
Josh, thank you for having me. It's great to be with you and our viewers. We continue to be very encouraged with the way our COVID-19 numbers for the patients who are hospitalized are trending. Unfortunately, the number of deaths have continued to remain relatively high, and that really concerns us. But make no mistake, we are seeing a decline in our COVID-19 numbers, in the number of patients who are admitted to our hospitals with COVID-19. And let me add one more thing, Josh. A vast majority of these people, 90 to 95% of these COVID-19 patients who are admitted to our hospitals, who end up on the ICU and on the ventilators, are, for the vast majority, they are unvaccinated.
That continues to be the case. We were curious about that. If you were still seeing that those patients who were getting the sickest were the ones who also had not been vaccinated, that still is the case?
Yes, sir. The most vulnerable patients are the ones who are unvaccinated. There was a recent report that was released by CDC which corroborates what we are seeing, that people who are unvaccinated have 11 times higher the risk of dying than vaccinated individuals.
Today's numbers indicate about a quarter of the patients who are in the hospital are serious enough to need to be in intensive care units, and many of them are on ventilators. What's happening?
I think that is directly a correlation of the impact of the Delta variant. As most of us know, Delta variant is much more contagious, and it leads to a much more severe illness. And we continue to see a large pocket of our community that is unvaccinated. So you combine the unvaccinated and vulnerable individuals, and in our area we see a lot of chronic disease burden, folks with heart disease, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, all those kind of things, not being vaccinated, and then the Delta variant takes over, which of course, as I said, is much more contagious and severe. That leads to a potentially very serious outcome, including patients who end up on ventilators, and many of them unfortunately pass away.
According to the health department and Ballad Health, the vaccination rate in our region is still below 50%. You mentioned a high number of people still not vaccinated who are eligible. We had heard before that a low vaccination rate increases the chance for a new variant to come through. How concerned are you about what's after Delta and what it could look like?
As a medical community and at Ballad Health, we continue to be concerned with the relatively low rates of vaccinated individuals in our community in the Appalachian Highlands. I think close to 44% of our community is vaccinated against COVID-19. While we have seen a small uptick in the number of folks getting vaccinated, but we could do a whole lot better. So as I mentioned before, we do have significant pockets of unvaccinated individuals. As long as there are unvaccinated individuals, their bodies are much more vulnerable to getting another variant of COVID-19, which we anticipate may be more contagious and much more severe than the ones we have seen previously, including the Delta variant. So we continue to be very worried and as well as prepared to deal with any eventuality.
And that tends to be how viral life goes. The variants become often more contagious and more severe. And so we're heading, I think of a year ago, Dr. Vashisht, we were heading into what was going to be some of the darkest days as we were dealing with people going indoors, people gathering for holiday celebrations. Are you concerned about that? Is there a pit of worry in your stomach as just our cultural habits are about to shift indoors?
I think so, Josh. We continue to be very worried, and there are a few salient differences between the winter that is about to come and the one that we had last year. Of course, those are very dark days of winter, but please remember that as a society at that point of time, we were still doing a lot of mitigation measures. We were masking a whole lot more. Social distancing was much more in vogue. Hand hygiene was being followed much more robustly. Kids were doing remote school at a very higher number. Now those things have changed. Our masking rates have dropped off. Social distancing is not much more practiced as much as it was last year. Combine it with the fact that most of our kids are attending in-person classes in school. Last year in December, then we started giving vaccinations against COVID-19. And after the second dose in January, the number of COVID-19 cases started to drop off pretty precipitously. And now you look at the plateauing of our vaccinated individuals. So that gives us a cause to worry. What will happen? What will the impact of Halloween celebration, Thanksgiving, and Christmas gatherings are going to be, particularly in regards to the continued evolution of the variant strains of COVID-19, Josh.
Dr. Amit Vashisht with Ballad Health, thank you as always to you and to all the folks who are taking care of the sick tonight. We appreciate it.